But I've been hearing there's this guy named Brett Kavanaugh who is like a perfect person, who's destined for the Supreme Court. I've heard that for a long time. So many different charges. Guilty until proven innocent. That's very dangerous for our country. That's very dangerous for our country. 36 years ago, this happened. I had one beer, right? I had one beer. Well, do you think it was? Nope, it was one beer. Oh, good. How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know. I don't know. What neighborhood was it in? I don't know. Where's the house? I don't know. Upstairs, downstairs, where was it? I don't know. But I had one beer. That's the only thing I remember. And a man's life is in tatters. A man's life is shattered.
What's good? You're listening and watching Daniel and Gian talk. I am Gian Perez.
Talk shit.
With me, talk shit. With me, as always, Daniel Trujillo. If you're watching this on YouTube, then you just finished watching this Donald Trump press conference video with us.
Not a press conference, it's a rally.
A rally, excuse me.
It's a rally.
A rally video with us. And you know, it just kind of once again shows the world that we live in nowadays, where, I mean, he's essentially victim shaming, you know, the accuser. And honestly, I don't know if she's full of shit, if this was all a ploy by the Democrats, if it's fake.
Let's pump the brakes there for a second.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on bringing up some high school stuff when you're older? I'm not saying that he's innocent. This is not me defending him. I'm genuinely asking, just in the general context.
Listen, it depends.
Because I have my opinions.
It depends on what the crime was.
I think if you murdered or if you've done anything that would put you in jail for life, and you did it when you're in fucking high school, and you haven't received any consequences for it, and that shit comes back to you when you're about to become a Supreme Court justice, you got to serve that time. So if he did this shit and he doesn't get his nomination, he deserves it. Because he never, if he did that, went to jail, served his time, and now we're here.
Yeah. And
why would you bring that up? He already did his time.
And I'm with you. I'm with you because I think that is important. I think if he stole a candy bar from 7-Eleven or something, whatever, that's childish.
Then he should not be in the Supreme Court. Then the FBI should find that out.
You know, but I'm saying there's a difference. Like if he was in high school and he toilet papered somebody's house, he threw eggs at someone's car. You know, there's stuff that teenage kids do because they're dumb, they're young and stupid. You know, this brings up the question, like if you sexually assaulted someone, do you grow out of that? Is that something people grow out of? You know,
I think it could be, but I'm saying.
I mean, it could be. It's a different time where maybe what he did was socially acceptable back then. You know, Joe Rogan talks about Bill Cosby making girls, and
that's what it was like.
Like dudes did that shit all the time.
But he's getting it. But Bill Cosby's in jail now.
He is in jail,
and he deserves that. But I'm just saying though, if you've done something
if you did
wrong,
something heinous, it doesn't matter when you did it.
And you need to serve your time
at some in one way or another.
Just like Louis C.K.
Yeah, absolutely.
He fucked up. He needs to do something
yeah.
to right that.
And it was, you know, Louis C.K. same thing 10, 15 years ago, which is, I mean, it's actually worse than high school if you want to argue, especially this guy's in his 50s, you know. But that being said, you know, I don't think that's not an excuse. And anyone that's using it as an excuse, and we don't know if he actually did it or not. We don't. But did he do it? If he did do it, you saying, well, it happened 40 years ago, doesn't make it okay. It doesn't make it all right. It shouldn't be acceptable.
Yep.
And I think this display right here is just, it's mind-blowing that the president of the United States.
Is it really mind-blowing?
Well, not with this guy. But in the overall scheme of things.
This is the boys' club. He's
no other president would ever have done something
I had
like
one
this.
beer.
I truly believe.
I had one beer.
Like, every other president has minded their P's and Q's.
But no, I think you're right. But I just, at the same time though, he fucked up because he should have just been racist. If he was just racist, he would already be on the justice. It would have been okay. Because I say that to say, not to excuse racism, but I don't think you should be punished for saying things. Like if he, like those people who the baseball players and all these things who are dropping lyrics, dropping N-bombs, whatever.
Yeah, on their Twitters. Yeah.
And that's what they were doing when they were kids, and they're not doing it now.
Yeah, it's different.
Drop it.
Yeah.
Drop it. If they're not doing it now, if they're still doing it now, and you knew it, then it's on.
This is an alleged physical act, you know, and it's funny, like.
But what Trump said is not wrong.
No.
The guilty until proven innocent. That's the side society.
That's the only thing he said in this little speech that like it's true, and I agree with that. I think we're.
But that's what registers with these people.
Yeah.
Look at this. Pause it real quick. Look at this little boy. On the right next to his arm, like he doesn't. Do you think he even knows what? Like that guy. Like, do you think he even knows what's going on?
I don't know, but I would not be surprised if he shoots up a school in a year or two. Just.
You heard it here first, folks.
Just kind of got that look, you know. No, I.
That's baby Shia LaBeouf.
Listen, I fucked up today, and I let myself get caught up in a Facebook post from somebody else.
Oh, you argued with somebody?
I argued with somebody. And,
you can't do that, man.
And I argued.
You fucked up by going on Facebook.
That too, and I argued with one of our former guests because he's up in arms about what's going on with this stuff.
Potato God?
For the potato god. The potato god does not approve of this woman who.
Well, the potato god's too afraid to come on this show and discuss
he
these
just
things.
doesn't want to drive in traffic. He's a lazy fuck. But you know, he's actually stopped hitting me up to ask me to come on the show as well. By the way.
Well, there's no reason why we wouldn't be able to Uber him out here, so that's not an excuse.
I'm not paying for it.
Well, I'm just saying. But my point is, though, what were you saying? Or your point? What was your point?
So he brings up, he starts talking about evidence and all this stuff, and you know how an innocent man's life is being ruined, and I'm like, okay, say what you want, and maybe all this shit is bullshit, but when dude had his time to shine, he sucked.
He sucked.
He looked.
He's a creeper.
Exactly. He seemed not. He was creepy. The way he flipped out, like
I know.
The Supreme Court, those are powerful people. Is that someone that
he's not acting like a justice?
No, he's not. Is that someone that you want?
Regardless if he's innocent, he could be 100% innocent.
They
could be lying through their teeth. She could be fucking a liar and trying to ruin his reputation. Whatever you want to attribute to it, that might be 100% true. I don't think we'll ever know, to be honest with you.
Right, we won't. But
he does not conduct himself well.
No.
Period.
No.
And partisan aside, he could be a Democrat and do the same shit. He does not conduct. I would not vote just based on that.
He lost his composure big time.
And you can't do that.
And when other people's fates are in your hands,
he's literally would be the law of the land.
Exactly.
One of the chairmen of the laws of the land.
That's not good. You can't have people like that. You can't have people who can lose it like that. Who can get emotionally overtaken. Because I mean, is his life really going to be ruined?
No.
No. Come on.
Even if he doesn't get the nomination, it's not like he doesn't have a job.
No.
It's like Bernie Sanders. He didn't get elected. Oh, wow, but he still gets to be a senator.
You're fired for being a senator.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
So it's stupid. Plus, all the campaign money that I'm sure he's going to, I mean, it's just,
not to mention that this shit's all going to go away. If he doesn't get convicted of anything, people are going to forget about it when the next controversy comes out.
People don't talk about Comey or any of these things that people
everybody
are talking
forgets about everything. It's just so much stuff.
Sometimes I had too many beers. I liked beer. I still like beer. Had beers, have some beers. One beer, drink beer, drinks beer, drank beer, and drinking beer.
This is questionable judgment. Like, why would you? At some point, someone needed to whisper in his ear, like, "Hey, bruh.
Just stop talking about how you like
beers. About how you like beer. Like, why? For real. Like how did that not register in your head? Like, you're attacked, and you could have been like, listen, everything that's being said about me is untrue. I'm being attacked. This is a partisan thing, and you could have towed that line.
You could have just shut people up by being fucking.
Yeah, exactly. Direct and be like, listen, it's not true.
He just looks fucking weird, dude. He looks like he's...
I don't want this guy like having anything to do with the legislation in my country. You know what I mean?
He looks like
he's imitating himself on Saturday Night Live.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, he's like Matt Damon. He's playing Matt Damon right now. So
just look at that face.
And that's us judging him. Judging a judge.
Yeah.
By the way he looks.
And he needs to get sentenced to
And the way he talks. I mean, he looks as creepy as Ted Cruz, right?
He might have killed fucking the Zodiac. He might be the Zodiac killer.
He might have killed that person in Virginia or wherever, the guy that's making a murderer.
Oh,
he might have.
How to make a murderer?
How to make a murderer.
Dude, you should screenshot this. This is fucking scary. This is fucking weird.
He might have killed that photographer, man.
This is the face. This is the face he made.
There we go. What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
It's actually Ted Cruz in a fucking mask.
Yeah, it's Ted Cruz, man, and Ted Cruz is creepy as shit.
They have the same fucking mole on their cheek.
Dude, doppelgangers, bro.
What do you think? What do you think it would look like if they? Never mind.
I mean, I feel like it's a battle of who has thinner lips, but. You know.
Well, Ted Cruz is losing.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. What are you gonna do? I mean, I have it on good authority that the only reason why they're doing this investigation is because the Republicans didn't have enough votes to get him into office, and that's why they're allowing the Democrats to play their game to try to get it to stop, and they're delaying the vote because they're trying to still do some backdoor dealing. But it was announced. I think today.
They're still trying to blackmail people into voting for this.
But I heard today that they're moving forward. So that either that means they got enough votes, or
they're moving on.
Or some shit might start to really go down, and they might lose the guy entirely. But personally, I don't understand why they just say, you know what, like real talk. Trump wouldn't say this, but someone just said, you know what, it's just not worth it. Fuck this guy. You know what? Maybe you shouldn't have fucking did something, or maybe you shouldn't have even, we'll move on to someone else. We'll just get another Republican, because that's all they want. Well, they don't care if it's this guy.
Here, the problem with that is that we have some elections coming up in November, and if they don't get this...
I know, and then...
If they don't get him in before
the Democrats come in, there'll be a Democrat.
Exactly. And they'll shut down every single candidate that Trump,
which is fucking hilarious
because what the problem is exactly what the Republicans did to Obama's nominee,
which was worse.
Yeah,
because this is within the 6 months of the election.
Yeah,
Obama's dude was over like a year, I think, before the election, and they were just like, no, we're not allowing a black guy's nominee.
Yeah, we're not ready for that.
Yeah.
So. I mean, it's a bunch of partisan bullshit, and I really hate that this is where we're at right now. And it's just getting worse. Like,
you know, it's fucking weird though. I mean, I kind of see where George Carlin always say, I want it to get worse. I want it to get worse. I really do. It hasn't affected my life at all.
No.
None of this shit is affecting my life.
I'll be honest with you. My brother's always talk. My brother's actually kind of conservative. He's actually conservative, so he's like. You know, the tax cuts that Trump introduced, he was like, you know, it helped him. He got extra money in his...
Trump's fucking helped me out, man, with my fucking school loans.
With school loans?
Well, the fire helped me out.
Yeah, the fire. Well, he didn't cause the fire.
He didn't cause the fire.
But
that's a real thing, though.
And I told him, like, these tax cuts didn't help me or hurt me. It affected me none at all. You know, so all these things that are happening have yet to affect my life as well.
That's not to say they won't.
That's not to say they won't. No. But I hear what you're saying. Like as of right now, when does it start mattering? You know, and if everything does crumble, I guess my biggest concern is like something so crazy happening that the U.S. turns.
As long as we don't get fucking nuked, man.
Well, as long as we don't get nuked, and as long as we don't turn into a third world country overnight, before I can be one of the people oppressing. You know what I mean? Until I can.
You need to get in the ivory tower, and then the world can go to shit.
Exactly. Once I'm able to be, but if I'm one of those peons, dude, I'm gonna be unhappy about that shit.
But I mean, would that happen though?
It's very possible.
I don't know.
Every empire crumbles. Every empire crumbles, man. You know.
I feel
we got these Chinese and Indians threatening us, according to the history of thuggies, you know.
Which I didn't know. Speaking of that, I didn't fucking know that the thuggies were Temple of Doom.
Oh yeah.
I didn't fucking know that this whole entire time.
Yeah,
so now I actually want to revisit the movie.
They were the bad guys.
I didn't fucking know that. Well, no, I knew what they. I didn't know that they were the. I didn't know that's what they were.
Oh. They say it in the movie. Yeah, but I know it's something.
I was fucking too young to give a shit about.
Not
Indian
to mention
shit.
when that movie came out, Tupac still didn't exist, and I resent you for cutting out the Tupac references in our reaction video, by the way.
What Tupac references? I didn't cut him out.
You didn't?
Exactly.
You just didn't watch it.
I did watch it. I guess I wasn't.
Where he says this would have been, where you said this would have been the name of his biopic or whatever, his book.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's in there.
Oh, god damn it. Well I take it back.
Yeah, you don't pay attention.
But yeah, so this was before Tupac, so the word thug wasn't as popular.
I just didn't, to be honest, I didn't even know they were Indian.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that for a long
Well,
time.
I'd never liked that movie. So I've only, I think I've seen it twice. Well, because it was too scary for me. Fucking dude pulling the heart out.
So you're scarred mentally by that film.
Well, I want to revisit it. I just remember Short Round and then Steven Spielberg's wife.
You call him Dr. Jones, doll.
And with the Yankee hat on.
Let's
Well, we got the biggest fight this year coming out.
we got the biggest UFC fight in the last 2 years, for sure.
You think this fight's bigger than UFC fight? Oh, I was
UFC.
gonna say you think this fight's bigger than Floyd and
No,
McGregor.
no.
Oh, I
This is the. I mean, arguably you could say that the DC John Jones 2 is maybe bigger, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this is the most polarizing figure in combat sports.
As we watch him throw a trash can through the bus.
It was a hand truck.
Oh, he threw a dolly?
Yeah.
Oh, well, whatever. Well, let's get right into it. Obviously, everyone's fucking talking about what's going to happen. I mean, what do you think?
What do you think? Let me ask you something. What do you think about Brendan Schaub's take that
I agree with him.
You think this fight isn't going to do well because Conor's not out there promoting the shit out of it?
Oh, I thought you were talking about how he says it's going to be a dog fight.
No, he says that he doesn't think
it's going to get 2 million buys.
He doesn't think it's going to do like Dana White's out there saying
2.5.
that it's going to get 3 million. He's like it's trending towards 3 million. But Brendan Schaub thinks you're going to be lucky if it cracks 2 because Conor's not doing the press tour that he's done for this.
Well, we can all agree it's going to get 1 million plus.
I think so.
Which means it's going to be a success at the end of the day.
I personally think that Conor's name alone now
it's going
to get. I'm tuning it. I'm going to probably buy this. I mean, I've watched it the past few in different ways. I'm not going to say how, but this one.
Reddit.
This one we're probably.
I'll be watching it.
I'm probably going to buy it.
I won't be
because I genuinely excited about this. I haven't been excited about a UFC card in a while.
I first off, I want to say I hope they make weight because Khabib could potentially miss.
By they you mean Khabib because Conor's
going to make weight.
He's going to make weight
But
regardless.
Khabib might fucking not make weight and it might ruin everything. But assuming they make weight, assuming that all comes down, I do think that sales could have been better. Well, we don't even know what it's going to do yet, so it's hard to even speculate. But I do feel like if they went on a press tour, I think that it would have gotten more because that's his thing. But I agree with Brendan's assessment saying that he wants to focus on fighting. He wants to focus on training.
Yeah.
It is the toughest fight of his life because stylistically they're opposites.
Right.
They're literally that's why it's such a good fight because Khabib can get fucking knocked out. I don't think he's going to get Jose Aldo knocked out.
No.
But it's not like he's going to fucking Khabib's going to go. I don't think Khabib's going to hold him down. I don't.
I could see that happening, but before we get to that, I want to talk about, I have theories about why this fight's even happening. I think this is Dana White's long play because the domestic market here is kind of drying up. People are kind of getting just oversaturated with UFC. There's no stars anymore. People are kind of getting bored of the product for the most part. And I think the only reason why Khabib is in this fight is because he's trying to tap into that international market. He's trying to get that Russian market.
Well, he said he's going to retire after this fight if he wins.
I don't believe that. I know he says that, but I don't believe that shit for a second. I think that's bullshit. That's just hearsay. I think.
Why wouldn't he though? I don't think he could. The difference between the difference between Conor and Khabib.
If he starches Conor and he wants to go up and fight at 170, he can go and do that. He can get a super fight with GSP if GSP wants that money.
Well, I'm just saying that my point is
he's never fought in Russia on a UFC card. If they do their first,
they've only done one Russian card.
And if they do their first pay-per-view, like a real big pay-per-view in Moscow, you don't think he wants to be on that?
No,
I don't
buy
that.
My thing is, who the fuck else is gonna? Conor's fought real people. Khabib hasn't.
Right.
I mean, obviously, everyone he's fought would kick the shit out of me, so I shouldn't say that.
I mean, even if he retires, it's not about that. I'm talking about Dana and Dana's mind. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because how he got the title in the first place. Tony Ferguson wins the title.
I know, he's not a champion.
And then he blows his knee out.
Khabib's not even a champion.
Khabib fights a non-contender, a guy that wasn't even in the top 10, and he gets handed the title, and then he gets handed this fight. This co-main event right here means more than this title fight. If in the scheme of things, because those guys are going to be around for a while.
Well, I mean,
I think the whole reason why this is happening is because of he wants to tap into that Russian market because he's got other Dagestani fighters as well on the roster now. And I think it's building towards, hey, we're not making the money we are in the States anymore. Let's start pushing this to Russia.
I mean, it's kind of I don't know about that.
Well, absolutely. It's absolutely.
Well, I mean, I'd say UFC is a worldwide sport. I feel like, but I watch UFC on a weekly basis, and a lot of their cards aren't in this country.
Right.
So,
but they're not pay-per-views. They push the smaller cards.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that.
And they put the local fighters, and those don't do well here.
Okay, I know, but that's not what we're talking. You're talking about pay-per-views. I'm talking about the whole. All I'm saying is
mixed martial arts.
The ESPN deal is going to change things, and we don't know the ramifications.
We don't know. We don't know how that's going to happen
because Fox changed the UFC.
Right.
I feel like the Fox deal changed UFC, and now you're dealing with ESPN, who's the top dog of sports, at least in America.
Well, in America, yeah.
So
they don't really have an impact.
Well, we're talking about America. That's where.
Yeah.
So no one's going to be. I don't know what those fight cards are going to be like. Joe Rogan said that they're going to be big. He said they're all going to be big.
I mean, ESPN is changing their model right now. Like they have their
app,
the subscription service, and they're doing a push with boxing. Like we've seen in the last year, like real boxing matches. Before it'd be like contender guys, like guys that are building themselves up. But now that HBO, and I don't know, we haven't talked about it all, but HBO done with the fight game, which is insane because I've always associated HBO and boxing. I don't know about you, but for me,
all the big fights that I remember were on HBO.
Exactly. And for them,
when I heard, I was like, "That's really surprising." That means the market must be going to shit.
Right. And what comes to the same, boxing has the same problem that the UFC has, and it's domestically, not internationally, but domestically. No stars. There are no stars in boxing.
There's no stars in anything anymore because there's no more Muhammad Ali's. There's no more of these big guys there's no Mike Tysons. I mean, the big boxing fight this year was Canelo Triple G. And, you know, you can't, they're old, Triple G's old. You know, Canelo's not old per se, but who's Canelo going to fight? I mean, obviously they're probably going to fight one more time, right, to finish the trilogy out, maybe. I mean, that's what I personally would love to see. But who's Canelo going to fight? Who's in Canelo's division or his weight class or however you want to define it, like, that's going to people are going to watch, it's just like Conor. People are going to watch Conor no matter what, but at least in the UFC, Conor has people who are going to, like, the worthy fights.
Yeah.
Canelo, who does he fight?
Oh, there's worthy fighters. They just don't have the name recognition.
But it's what you said, what's wrong with boxing, and that's according to, like, Teddy Atlas, like, there's no more, like, and that HBO was kind of hinted at that. The fact that Top Rank, all these promoters are going with these other networks, there's no way they could secure these fights anymore.
Right.
So it's like, who is Oscar De La Hoya going to allow Canelo to fight? There might be contenders or people out there, but who is he going to allow? Is he going to allow him to fight the best guy out there and potentially lose his money-making machine?
I mean, that's true. No,
Canelo's Mr. Tough Guy, but he sure as fuck waited for Triple G to be 37 or however old he is to fight him.
And got a controversial win.
Both times. Well, at best. The first time was a draw. But
right. But both decisions were highly controversial. And I agree with you. But there are fighters out there in Canelo's division for sure. But yeah, there is that. Oscar De La Hoya has nobody else on his roster. His roster sucks. It's terrible.
There's one guy though. He's fucking. I forgot his name. It's Chicken Guy. Some dude. He's fucking the best.
Oh, the guy that threw like 7,000 punches.
Dude, fucking amazing. Look that guy up, Carlos. I don't know his name. I wish I did. He's a De La Hoya fight. He threw like literally like 2,000 punches. He's blonde. He's not white though. If you find it, that dude. I'd love to watch him fight. Just anybody.
Right.
Like, I'm going to tune into his next fight for sure, and I haven't felt that way about a boxer.
What his weight class was like?
I don't even know.
That's a problem, too. Like, sometimes when it's a smaller weight class.
None of these guys. No. This is it. Maybe it's not look up the Golden Boys' last fighting card, whatever it was, whatever their last fighting card was. But, it's just, I don't know what the ramification of the HBO thing is. It's like, Floyd's going to come back to fight Pacquiao. They're going to have Pacquiao too. They're going to have another $100 million fight. But I'm going to watch that. But it's just...
yeah, you're not going to pay for that.
No, well, yeah, of course not. I didn't pay... Well, no, Carlos... We paid for the first one, or Carlos paid for the first one. And that was a terrible fight.
I fell asleep.
Yeah, it was an awful fight.
Yeah, I think...
But it's just Tyson Fury and the fucking... The other dude, Wilder. I want to see that.
That's going to be...
They're doing it at the Staples
That's the fight
Center.
I'm most excited about. That fight for sure is going to be awesome. I mean, those are two. I mean, just Wilder's power is just so devastating. And Tyson Fury, not only that, Tyson Fury's skill-wise, he's a little man in a 6'8" like ogre's body. You know, he's got good movement, he's got good hands, he's got footwork. I mean,
I've never seen him fight.
Yeah, he's awkward, but he's got these skills that you don't normally see in heavyweights. Like Deontay Wilder didn't pick up boxing until he was 17 years old.
I didn't think he looked very good when he fought that fat dude.
No, but he never really looks good. He just has that fucking anvil in his hand. He's got Thor's hammer for a right hand, man.
So you think that's if you're that cool, he must be able to take a punch.
That's
obviously,
the great,
because that fat guy obviously knocks people out.
If we want to talk controversy, I do think he got saved a little bit. Like they let him rest a little longer between rounds. You know, because I thought he was done after dude banged him up. But
Ortiz, is that his name?
Yeah, Ortiz. But he still came back. He knocked him out. Like clean, no dispute, knocked him the fuck out. But I think Showtime,
and he's a black guy too.
Yeah,
which I think that's important.
That's the big fight. That's what they really. If Oscar needs to let his dudes fight, he needs to let Canelo fight because the Charlo brothers, those dudes talk shit. They're good, and black people versus Mexicans sells. That
Oscar De La Hoya and Mayweather.
That makes money.
And I remember that fight.
The only people keeping boxing alive in this country are the Mexican community and the black community. Nobody else is going to those fights. You know, white people don't.
In America, right?
Yeah, in America. You know, internationally, boxing's still huge. That's why Anthony Joshua's filling 100,000 a seater.
I know, in England.
In England. That's insane. There's no boxer that can do that here. Not even Mayweather. Mayweather can't fit 100,000 people.
Well, he could sell a huge-ass pay-per-view, though.
He could sell a huge-ass pay-per-view, but that's different than spending $500 on nosebleeds.
I'm going to see what that guy's name is.
This is your fan base. These are the communities that you deal with. You need to make some sort of big fight happen between these communities because this is the only people still getting into boxing as well. We don't have the Irish guy anymore. We don't have the Italian guy from New York anymore. You know, all we have is international, and we got Mexican guys, and we got black guys.
You know, side note, you know, I thought when we first started doing Indian content,
you thought Amir Khan was an actor?
No, I thought
one of the
that
actors
the actor, because I've heard of Amir Khan,
yeah.
I've seen him fight.
He's Pakistani, by the way.
And I was like, oh, fucking Amir Khan can fucking he acts in Indian movies.
Okay.
I was and then I found out quickly that that's not the case. But
1A versus 2.
No, I know that now, but at the time I had no idea. But what are you showing us? The oldest people?
The best. Canelo should not be on that list.
Best ever boxers.
Canelo is nowhere near one of the best ever. That's insane. I mean, neither's Oscar, neither's Cotto. Pacquiao, what he's done is revolutionary, but even then, you can make an argument that he fought shot fighters.
Pacquiao looks like. I know I need to fix my mic. Pacquiao has my haircut.
Yeah, he does. When you need a haircut, that's what it looks like.
Manny Pacquiao.
That's you right now.
I am Manny Pacquiao. You gotta put this side by side.
That's fucked up. Just because he can't grow fucking facial hair like me. He does look like me. I'm not going to deny it. I've been called Filipino a few times. It is what it is.
You can pass for a lot of things. But
let's go to the fight then. Who do you think's going to win, Conor or Khabib? I think Khabib's going to win, unfortunately, but I want Conor to win.
If we were talking like on a technical level.
No, who's going to win the fight? Just who's going to win?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, let's. If
I want to
it's going to go the distance.
If I want to go percentage, I don't think it's going to go there. I definitely don't. No, you know what? If it goes a distance, Khabib won.
I just don't see. I agree because I don't see Conor. Conor's never had a gas tank.
If it doesn't If it goes the distance, Khabib won that fight. If it doesn't go the distance, it's because Conor finished him.
But Khabib didn't look very good when he fought Homeboy.
No, he looked terrible.
5 rounds.
Yeah, he looked terrible.
So it's like
by the time it got to the 3rd round, it looked like he was gassed.
Tired as fuck.
You know, and there's a problem. The guy, he cuts from 200 pounds, man. He cuts a lot of weight to get down to 155, which is an issue in itself. And I've always had a problem with that. When guys are cutting 40 pounds.
I don't think it's fair.
It's not. It's taking advantage of the system, and I think it's a wrestling thing. Like that's the problem. Is like this is shit that wrestlers do, and
they've been doing it the whole life.
Wrestlers will. And the funny thing is, I've been listening to people talking about, and all the pro Khabib guys are all wrestlers, you know. And the issue I have with wrestling is that it's boring as fuck. There's a reason why there's no professional wrestling, other than WWE, which is not the same thing.
Obviously.
Pro wrestling, because it's boring as fuck. Nobody wants to watch wrestling. Nobody wants to pay money to watch wrestling. Only other wrestlers like wrestling because it's just not exciting. And especially his style, where the problem with Khabib is every other wrestler out there has had some sort of power in their hands. It would take you down and then
just beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, exactly. He does not have that. He just slaps you with his little pillow fists, and nothing happens. Like, nothing happens. I bring up his record. How many finishes does he have? Like, I feel like less than 50% of his wins have been finishes. The guy goes to decision more than anybody else. I also think this is his first 5-round fight. The Iaquinta fight was the first time he actually went 5 rounds. So we've never really seen him go past 3.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But Conor also doesn't have gas.
No, God, and the reason, a lot of people say the reason why is because...
Although it went 5 rounds with Nate Diaz.
Yeah. But at the end of that fight, he looked like he was done. Like,
he looked like
there's
he
a reason
was
why
done
it went
multiple times.
The reason why it went split.
They both were done.
The reason why it was a split decision was because Conor was done after the 3rd round. Like, he could barely bring his hands up.
My gut tells me Khabib's going to win. Because I don't think Conor's going to be able to really continue it. Because I think Khabib's going to just continue to slaughter him on the takedowns. He's going to keep takedown, and he might be able to stuff a few.
Go to Wikipedia. I think it's 70-30 that Khabib's going to win.
I want Conor to win,
just
though.
Because stylistically, but it's going to be more fun if Conor wins.
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
This guy's undefeated. He's going to tarnish his whole fucking...
Absolutely. It's going to ruin this dude's life, and I want to see it ruined because...
Because he's Russian?
Not because he's Russian, because he's not even really a Russian. He's a...
Because you're a hater?
He's a minority in Russia. He just happens to speak Russian. And it's not because I'm a hater. You know what? It's just I just don't like his style. I think his style is terrible, and I hate guys that fight like him.
Well, I think it would be and then you can't retire after this. You got to come back.
Yeah.
You don't get to fight Conor again.
And if it's a good fight, if it's an actually good fight, we get to see another one.
Right.
Because
that's my problem with this guy. Like, who are all these fucking people he's fought?
Nobody's.
Like, when did he go to the UFC?
It should say at the top.
He has 2 finishes in the UFC.
Out of how many fights? Like 9?
Out of like 9, yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible. See, once he stepped up in class, stop finishing people. I mean, people say he's never lost a round. The Gleison-Tibau fight was the second time. The first time I saw him fight, I thought he lost that fight. They were like undefeated Russian fighter, and I thought Gleison-Tibau won. And it amazes me that he didn't even get a round out of it because I thought he won that fight. I thought Khabib lost that fight. I don't remember the Dos Anjos fight that well, but it's just like I don't know. I stylistically he's not my favorite. I think he's.
Well, I don't like guys who just hold people down.
Yeah, exactly. And
at the end of the day, that's
essentially what he does. And it's one of those things like with people on a technical level. It's like
boxers who hug.
Well, it's not like that. Not even that. It's like people who watch films that are like all about the technical prowess and stuff, and you're like, well,
with no story or
the story
heart
fucking
or anything.
sucks. But they're like, oh yeah, but what about all this like the angles and the editing was and you're like, yeah, but it didn't have a story. But you just don't get it, And it's the same thing. It's wrestlers love this guy because they see these little nuances that we don't.
Which I think if we knew, we'd be more appreciative of what it does.
I would appreciate it, but I still wouldn't like it.
No, I know. They're boring.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, okay, we get it. You've got him down on the ground. He can't do shit. Finish him now.
And we
finish him. Put him out.
I don't know about you, but we watch this stuff because of the violence, because they're fighting.
Duh.
And when you turn
I want to see someone. I mean, I don't want to see them die, but
when you turn this into a sport, it makes it boring. And that's always been my problem with GSP as well. When they turn it into a sport, a competition, it loses that animalistic thing that we have inside of us that we like, And that's a problem with these kind of fighters. Is like they're not.
That's
fighters
why I
anymore.
hope Conor fucking. I
would love it if he starched him within the first minute. Like
I wouldn't.
Oh, I would think that was amazing, dude. The
Nico
repercussions of that shit.
That's the guy's name. Sorry. I had it. No, I just don't like when fights finish in the first minute. Like the Stipe DC fight, I enjoyed the fight. I thought it was good. But I wanted to see him fight more.
Right.
I love seeing the back and forth more than I do that knockout.
You like the barn burners.
Yeah. I want to see them, the slobber knockers.
I mean,
I want to see them fucking. I want to see Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor.
I like the barn
fights.
burners, but when those
and then ending with the knockout.
When those quick knockouts happen, though, like they're amazing because they come out of nowhere. I think I mean,
it depends.
It sucks if you dropped $100 on a card or something and that happens. Obviously I would be pissed off. Like I paid all this money and the main event ended like that. But at the same time, if it happens,
I like. Okay, let me put it this way. I like Francis Ngannou first-round knockouts. I like Mike Tyson first-round knockouts. Those are the, like, when you know the dude is going to fucking knock you out, and that's what you're waiting for that first-round knockout. You know it's coming. That's what he's been doing.
Like, you're okay if Homeboy's head flies out of the ring.
Yes.
Like, that's the kind of knockout you want.
If we know it's coming.
Right.
Conor's not going to be the first-round knockout guy, regardless of what he did to Jose Aldo. Because he's just not Francis Ngannou, although Francis Ngannou did not look good the last time he fought. Look.
Is this the fight?
This is not the fight. Look up his last fight, whatever it was, and just look up that fight.
See, that little ponytail he's got going on makes me automatically not a fan of his.
No,
like, I'm already like rooting against this guy.
Just trust me.
I don't need a mullet ponytail, bro. That's what that's. And you say he's Mexican, so it's a Mexa mullet too, but it's not.
A Mexa mullet.
It's not the curly kind, you know. With
I'm just saying, this is not a good example. Just got to see his last fight, or at least the highlights of his last fight, because this is a guy who I would fucking watch. Like, I hope he continues to, because he nonstop pressure, just nonstop. This is not a good example of his last fight, because I don't know when this was where it was in his career.
You know,
or whatever.
he reminds me of there's a fighter named Juan Baby Bull Diaz. He fought out of Houston. He was like that, like he was relentless pressure. That right around that weight class as well. He kept coming forward the whole fight. He didn't have any power in his hands though. That was a problem. He ended up losing when he stepped up to the higher competition. He ended up,
That's what I want to see. I don't want to see him fight fucking Canelo or something. Obviously, that wouldn't happen. But I'd love to see him like go up a little bit and because, yeah, the other guy he fought just completely he shut him down. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. But with the rest of the card, like I honestly, like I said,
I want to see Tony Ferguson.
I think
fight.
the Tony Ferguson Anthony Pettis fight might be the best fight of the night.
I don't care about the woman fight, to be honest with you.
No, I don't. Felice Herrig and Karate Hottie. I don't. I mean, I've already been on record. I'm not a fan of the women fighters. I don't want to go into
because
that.
you're sexist.
Exactly.
Volkov, I do want to see Volkov.
Yeah,
fight.
I mean, I like Derek Lewis too, the Black Beast. I mean, he can put it on when
he's
he needs
funny
to.
on Instagram
Yeah,
too.
he is. There's also OSP Dominic Reyes.
OSP looked good the last time he fought.
When I see that when he's on like the main part of the card though, like it gives me pause. Like this is the best you could do for this, you know. And sometimes this is when you start thinking like they're spending so much money on the main event that they can't they got to pay their cheaper fighters.
Well, they don't even have
a
main event for the New York card.
Well, rumor has it they're still trying to make that John Jones.
I mean, we'll see
thing on that card, you know. And speaking of that, I mean, before we move on from this fight stuff, how do you feel about John Jones allegedly being a snitch, and that's why he got his thing reduced? I mean, there's different rumors behind it, but there's been multiple stories where he got offered a deal and he took it.
You know, if he did that, I don't fault him for that, because that's part of the system. That's what I have a problem with, though. The fact that this, like,
the system allows you to be a snitch?
I thought USADA was, like, now I'm starting to see why people are, because I've heard complaints about it. I'm like, oh, you're just complaining because, you know.
Because you got caught.
Or whatever, whatever that might be. But now I'm starting to see that, no, maybe the system is definitely good because it's good to have someone, like, regulating these fighters or not. Depends on how you feel about it.
Yeah, I want him fucking juiced
because
to the gills.
Because that's also an argument, too.
Yeah.
Because, yes, you can be natural and still fuck people up with talent and skill, whatever. Or you can also join the party and then just see what happens.
Right.
Which is also, as a spectator, it's like baseball. I grew up during the steroid era, so
Listen, let me tell you something, man.
And that was fucking exciting.
Nothing was better than those old pride fights in Japan where dudes were just gassed up, like just fucking altered beast monsters. Everybody's neck was just bigger than their head, you know, and dudes are just like, oh, and you could see like there's just so much testosterone fun, and they're just trying to kill each other.
Yeah, why not?
And
that sounds like fun.
Dude, watch those old pride fights if you haven't. If you have like Fight Pass or the UFC subscription, dude, because those pride fights were brutal, and every single dude in there was gassed out of their minds. And you had Rampage, you had Vanderlei Silva, you had Shogun Hua, all gassed. Fedor looked fat as fuck, still knocking people out, and he was probably gassed up too, bro. It was just, man.
But I'm saying that's good entertainment.
No, absolutely. No, I think people get caught up in the purity of the sport, but is it impure if everybody's on the same shit?
But not even that. My argument wouldn't even be about that. At what point does something become acceptable or not? If you take vitamins, it's just like when, you know, I'm sure any heavyweight boxer today could fuck up any heavyweight boxer from like the 1900s.
Yeah.
Like 1901, whatever the
Right.
best in the world is. You take fucking most heavyweight boxers, they're gonna knock dude out.
Right.
Technique, and not take the steroids out of it, whatever. Just because they have good diet now, they have good fucking meal plans, they know how to work out properly, they know how to lift weights, they know how to take vitamins, what they're missing. Like T.J. Dillashaw talking about his whole plan about.
It's not just that. It's this. They didn't have this.
Well, I'm just talking about boxing for a second.
No, I'm telling you, boxers have video. They have at the.
I know they can study.
At the
so
touch
this is
of their
cheating
fingers.
too. This is cheating too.
You didn't have that back in the 1900s. You had maybe someone had like a grainy fucking film.
If that.
It
was some guy's word like, hey man, he might do this, this, and this.
You got multiple angles now. You can study
Fight Pass. You can rewatch all the angles.
You can see everything. There's so much you can learn now. I mean,
I'm saying, so how is this not an advantage?
No, it is. It absolutely is.
You can say, well, it's not the strength, but it's at the same time. There's plenty of baseball players who took steroids and who weren't very good.
Right, Brett Boone. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Paul LaDuca, the Dodger catcher. But my point is though, you take the juice, it's gonna give you an advantage. Don't get me wrong, but it's not gonna fucking make you the best fighter in the world.
No.
It's like John Jones. If he was juiced, he still head kicked the fuck out of DC.
He did.
And if he wasn't on the juice and he did the same head kick, probably would have knocked him out
Right.
still, in my opinion. Because it wasn't like steroid mode engaged. I'm just going to kick right through you. Like, no, it was technique. He fucking saw
At the same time, though, the question is, would he have lasted until that round?
That was the second round. DC was putting it on him. I'm not going to lie.
If you watch the OSP fight when he comes back.
He didn't look good. He didn't look the best. I know.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying John Jones is a god. But at some point, Barry Bonds couldn't hit home runs anymore.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's what puts everything into perspective. Like, there's things, would he have lasted? Would he have been able to keep DC off of him in the clinch if he didn't have that extra?
Fucking pap DC throw it up.
You know.
I'm just saying. I'd love to. It's just like Brock Lesnar. Okay, Mark Hunt couldn't beat Brock Lesnar because he was juiced up, and that's the argument. And that might be 100% true. I'm not going to sit here and deny that. But also, Brock Lesnar's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Mark Hunt's not.
Right. No, there's
Brock Lesnar took him down and got him on, kept him down.
It all depends on how you want to look at it, and I'm with you. I get it. But anyways, I think that'll wrap up our fights for the weekend. So let's wrap this.
So Conor Khabib, last one.
Fuck it. I'm going Conor. I think Conor's going to knock him out in the first 3 rounds.
Yep. Well, you heard me. I want Conor to win, but I just think, I think Khabib's going to hold him down. And I think the worst outcome is obviously if someone doesn't make weight, but the second worst would be it's a 5-round boring ass fight where Conor's just on the floor.
Absolutely. And here, you know what? I'm going to throw the uneducated angles of mine about why Conor's going to win. I think Conor's the most explosive, the fastest, the most difficult fighter Khabib has ever fought in his life.
He can move back and forth.
There's There's nobody that you can bring in to copy his style. He's never felt power like Conor's power, and he's just there's something about. And not only that, but this is the most serious we've ever seen Conor. No media circuses. He's closing off his workouts to people. Everything he's doing is he's focused. It seems like for the first time since before he became famous, he's focused.
Although Ronda was focused and she got knocked the fuck out. I'm just saying that comeback fight, she got
Ronda got knocked out because she had one style of fight and she didn't adapt. This isn't.
I know.
Conor's undefeated in the UFC. The only fight he's lost in the last 5-6 years was a boxing match against the greatest defensive boxer of all time. Really.
Well,
Nate, yeah,
because he got choked out.
And that was also like a last-minute fight he took. He didn't take that fight serious. He decided to go up to 170. He's like, I'm just not going to cut weight. Because he weighs 169 pounds. So the last 3 weeks of the fight, he's just like doing whatever the fuck he wants to.
That's not to take away from what Nate did.
No, I give Nate credit, but at the same time, I think Conor didn't take him serious. He thought Nate was going to be easy. That's why he took that fight. Had it been another 170er, had it been Tyron Woodley, he wouldn't have taken that fight. He would have been like, yeah, I'll fight Woodley. He fought who he thought was like the weaker welterweight, and he paid for it. But he made up for it again. He fought again. Yeah, he won again. He took it back. So. But yeah, I forgot about that one. But anyways, yeah, that's my science behind it, my bro science. But before we end this this video, I just want to talk real quick about the Venom movie that's coming out this weekend. Depending on where you're watching this, they might have already come out. We're not sure, but there's a lot of from the preview screening so far, it's not looking too good. And I know you're a person that doesn't really take these things serious when people say they don't like a film or whatever. But what I find interesting is like these are the people that are critiquing it are not the comic book people. They're like the regular film critics. So I'm wondering. I haven't read the articles per se about what the issues are, but
29% Rotten Tomatoes. The embargo is up, so that's a valid score. But finish your point.
I don't know. I've already said from what I've seen from the trailers,
Venom's first standalone movie turns out to be like the comics character in all the wrong ways, chaotic, noisy, and in desperate need of a stronger attachment to Spider-Man. So
I mean, that was my critique more than anything.
I mean, I'm gonna watch the movie.
No, I'm gonna watch it too. But I
at some point.
Yeah.
Not opening weekend.
I think. I mean, they're giving away a free comic. I might have to sneak out and see it tomorrow.
That's how they're getting people like you.
Yeah, that's how they're gonna get me, and probably gonna get a lot of other comic book dudes that way. But I think that was my concern.
What's the critics or the user? Oh, the
There's
user
the
rate?
audience.
Well, there's like the internet blogger guys. Like we could technically be, we could if we worked hard enough,
we could be on.
We could
Rotten
probably
Tomatoes.
get these sneak previews and
I mean, my thoughts on it are, if it's bad, people will know. Because I think the only in my opinion, the only way movies are successful nowadays. Yes, you have your opening box office. That matters. That's important. But that's no longer guarantees your movie's success anymore because not Dark Knight Rises, Batman vs Superman, Justice League. Pretty good opening weekends, not the greatest, but pretty good opening weekends. It's that next weekend fall off. Then when you lose 60, 70% and you go from 100 million to fucking 30 million the next weekend, that's because your movie sucks. Because of the internet now, word of mouth is everything.
Yeah.
Dude, you need to go check out the new Venom. It's fucking great. I'm telling you, it's great. Just you need to go fucking. All right, cool. That's the only way movies are successful nowadays. So if it's shitty critically and it's already been written off, this movie's not going to be successful at the box office. It's not. I can tell you that right now. I don't know if it's a good movie or not because I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
I will not subscribe to their fucking 23, 29%, whatever. I need to see it for myself. I didn't think Fantastic Four was the worst movie in the world. It wasn't a 9, but it definitely wasn't a fucking good movie either, especially after the second half of the movie. But that's not what this is about.
How much of that was influenced by, though, that everybody's shitting on it, so that when you finally saw it, your expectations were so much lower that you're like, it's not as bad as everybody said it was?
Well, I mean, two things. One, unfamiliar with the characters, the comic books.
Okay.
So I had no expectations to Storm. I mean, not Storm, but Johnny Blaze. Is that what his name is?
Yeah.
Needs to be like this. They need to be
No,
white.
it's not Johnny Storm.
Yes, Johnny Storm. I was going to say Storm.
Johnny Blaze is Ghost Rider.
Okay, Johnny Storm.
Rip.
Yeah, you need to be this. He needs to be white. None of that shit went over my head because I don't care.
Yeah.
My problem with fucking Fantastic Four is they set up Doctor Doom, in my opinion, well, and then it completely just they became the Fantastic Four. There's a huge fucking time jump, and now all of a sudden they're like government experiments. And then, the stories, it's fucking really weird. But up until that point, it was pretty good. Before they, you start to see each one of these characters be themselves, and they start to find themselves. They go off to this planet or wherever the dimension shit, I forget what it is, how it all plays out. And then they get tainted. And you're like, oh, fuck, something's going wrong. And then the next thing you know, it's fucking 20 years later.
Yeah.
It's not. But so what I'm saying is, this Venom movie might be good. It might not be good to comic book people, but it could be a good movie. I don't know. I have to see it, but it's not going to be successful. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to bomb. It might have a good, strong opening weekend though, but it's not going to have holding power.
Like I said, I might be contributing to that
opening weekend.
Good opening weekend, yeah. Just because I mean, I want
$100 million.
I have no attachment to the character. I've never been a Spider-Man fan. I've never been a Venom fan. So I just want to watch it because I just.
Because you want to watch it.
I want to see. I just like seeing the world burn because I think the trailers have been awful. I've not been impressed by what I've seen. And the more I see, the more images I see from the movie, the worse it's starting to look to me. You know, usually it's the opposite. Like, oh, this is starting to look better. But since that initial shot of his face, I've been like, whoa.
See, I think I actually I like the way he looks. But I think that's the big appeal is I feel like they nailed his appearance. Obviously, they can't put the spider on him, but they've nailed his appearance, and they have Tom Hardy, and they're trying to ride on that. And I don't think that's enough to ride on.
I think Tom Hardy's a big part of it, but I personally don't like the way it looks. I'm in the minority, but I actually think the Spider-Man 3 Venom looks better than
that's just a Spider-Man costume, black.
No, but he had the teeth on it.
I don't
and everything.
remember.
Yeah,
I've never seen it, so I thought it was just a black costume. Oh, that?
Yeah.
Oh, that looks fucking ugly. It looks like a penis with teeth on it. I'm just saying the new what the fuck? That's ugly.
I disagree. I like that one better.
Well, I like penis with teeth on it.
I like that it doesn't look as bulbous. I think Tom Hardy looks more like they put a.
You don't like.
They put like Jello over.
You don't like bulbous dicks?
No, it looks like they put Jello over a dildo. But
you're not a dildo guy. You just like the real thing.
Exactly. Somehow with you, it always devolves into something around dicks.
You're telling me that doesn't look like a dick with teeth?
A dick with teeth.
I don't see the mushroomness in it, bro. There's no mushroom tip going on there.
I don't know.
I don't know, Carlos. You decide. Which one do you like better? Also, remember...
I think they fucking look the same.
They came out of...
I mean, they kind of do. The other one just has a longer tongue.
Oh.
They both look like...
I mean, now we know why you like that one better, because you're thinking about what that tongue could do to your butthole.
Or my penis. Why does it have to be my butthole?
His tongue game is weak.
He doesn't even have a tongue. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it, to be honest with you.
Visual effects, it looks the same.
I just... Honestly, this is going to sound stupid, or maybe it's not. I want the movie to fail so that all these fucking... I just want all these characters just fold under Marvel to get back into Marvel.
I'm with you.
That's it. I don't... It doesn't bother me that there's no Spider-Man in the Venom. I don't care if the movie is good. I still don't care because I just don't think... There's nothing to sustain itself. If this movie was a good Venom movie, okay, great. You have a sequel, okay, great. At some point, you're going to need heroes. They don't have any... What heroes does Sony own right now? I mean, they do own Spider-Man.
I mean, technically, I think the strategy is if this is successful...
They'll loop him back in.
They're going to loop their own Spider-Man back in. And then, I don't know... I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't know what deal Marvel has with Sony right now when it comes to
2 movies.
The Spider-Man character. And then after this one, that's... see, I don't know. I don't know what deal's being worked on, but this is... I think this is Sony trying to capitalize on what they have. They're jumping the gun, and they're trying to take advantage of it. And that's all it is. It's the same thing. We had the argument. The people haven't watched it, but they may have watched it by now. The argument about the Joker thing, but it's the same thing. It's like you're using these properties to get...
But at least DC owns the Joker.
At least they do.
So if they wanted... If Batman makes a cameo in the Joker movie, even if it's Bruce Wayne and not Batman...
Yeah.
At least they can do that.
You have the connection. This...
has nothing.
Exactly, and this makes it even tougher. So, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching. You know the drill. Smash that like button. Leave comments. Let us know what you think. If you're listening on iTunes, please, please, please leave us a review so that other people can find the podcast. SoundCloud, leave comments. We will respond to you on SoundCloud. We like reading the comments as people are listening. And we will see you next time.